In this lesson, we're learning Grange by ZZ Top. It's a guitar staple in the history of classic rock. We'll be covering some chords like C5, E flat 5, F5, and A, but we're gonna be spending a lot of attention on riffs within those chords, those power chords I just mentioned, played with upstrum rhythms, and skipping some strings and hammer-ons, a bunch of cool techniques. We'll focus on the main riff section, the chords that are played during the solo, as well as the bridge. So get all tuned up, and we'll get going. We're gonna learn a classic Billy Gibbons riff. It takes two parts to complete this main cool riff, but I wanna go ahead and start by taking our first finger and putting it across two strings, the second frets of your fourth string and your third string. So we're just taking that little pad on our first finger, laying it across the second fret of our fourth string, all the way to the second fret of our third string. Sometimes in part one and part two, we'll either include just these two strings, or we'll go so far as including the fifth string as well. Virtually, that's considered an A chord. Let's go ahead and give that a look from another angle. Or without the fifth string. Which brings us to part one of this riff. What I want you to do is begin by only strumming a little down up strum, those two strings, like this. Sometimes I like to mute it a little bit for tonal effect. It gets a little bit more dampened, like this, down, up, or down, up. You don't have to add that effect to it yet, whatever's more comfortable. We have down, up. Following that quick 1-2 strum, I want to hear 4 up strums like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's 6 altogether like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Try that again. We're gonna go down, up, 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 up. Or here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. To complete part one of this main riff, we're gonna go ahead and add a really cool single note riff section that skips some strings and uses some double stops. What I want you to do is take your pick and do an up pick of the open fifth string. Then with your fretting hand, reach your pinky over to the fifth fret of your fourth string and play a down pick. So you have open 5, and then you're playing the fifth fret of your fourth string down. Then go back to the 5. And what I want you to do is have your first finger from that A chord still on the second fret of your fourth string, but your pinky is no longer reaching on the fifth fret of the fourth string, but now the fifth fret of the third string. So when you play these two strings together, you get that cool sound like that. Little dissonant, but really rock and roll. So you have this. So far we have open 5, open double stop. And then we're gonna go ahead and do that again. The second time, if you wanna add a little bend with your pinky, that adds some attitude to it. It's pretty cool. That riff goes like this, the open 5, fifth fret, open 5, 2 strings, open 5, 2 strings. So when we add it to the first part here, we have down, up, 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 up. Now the riff. Okay? Try that one more time before we just repeat that. Try it one more time. We have down, up, 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 up. Okay? Now, that last thing I did replaces the first down strum that started this riff. So now as we repeat this, I don't want you to go down, up, 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 up for a total of 6 strums. Get rid of that down. Just do 5 up strums after this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's a little bit better context. So we have at the beginning, down, up, 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 riff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 only, and then back to that riff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How, whatever he's doing. Super cool. All right, so that ends the first part. If for any reason that's feeling challenging, it's because it is a little challenging. But the second part we're about to learn is really cool, a lot easier, and actually played more often than the first part throughout the song, throughout the riff. So here's what we got. We're gonna go back to that shape over here, but instead of including just these 2 strings, let's get the open fifth string involved as we go down, up, 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 up. Now, you can simplify this by simply going 3, 5, which means your middle finger is playing the single note, 3rd fret of your 5th string, followed by the pinky 2 frets higher on the 5th fret of your 5th string. Or you can add a little open 5th string like this. Okay, so you're going up, down, down. With my strum hand, I'm just giving that 3 and 5 simple down picks, okay? So you have this down, up, 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 down, up, 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 up. If you want to keep it nice and tight like you're playing the beginning of the riff before he really opens it up, you can go back to that palm muting sound. Or you want to go full throttle, just play it nice and hard, no palm muting needed. And get rid of that open 5th string there. 3, 5, down, up, 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 rest, 3, 5. You've got a lot of options just to jam along with this riff. It's really cool. So let's try putting part 1 and part 2 together. Take your time with this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do that 2 more times. And 1 more time. Now let's go into that second part of 3, 5, down, up, 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 oh, 3, 5, 1 more time. And there's your riff. All right, so we have a key change kicking in here over the solo, and it's your job as the rhythm guitarist to support that solo with the right chords. So here they are. We start with a C5 power chord, which means we're taking our first finger and bringing it to the 8th fret of your 6th string, followed by going 2 frets up and 1 string down with your 3rd finger on the 10th fret of the 5th string, and your pinky also on the 10th fret of the 4th string. That's your first chord. We'll be spending a lot of time there. From there, I want you to take your first finger and bring it to this guy. It's your 6th fret of your 5th string. Your 3rd finger is going to come up 2 frets, 1 string down, and your pinky's right underneath it. Look at that, same shape, just in a different position on the neck, and different strings. You have the 6th, 5th, and 4th string, followed by the 5th, 4th, and 3rd string. This is a C5 power chord. This is what's called an E flat 5 power chord. Okay, we're going to bring that up 2 more frets, and that makes it an F5 power chord. From another angle, you have the 8th and 10th frets on your 6th, 5th, and 4th string. You have the 6th and 8th frets on your 5th, 4th, and 3rd string. And then finally, you've got that exact same shape, just 2 frets higher on the 8th, 10th, and 10th frets of your 5th, 4th, and 3rd string. C5, E flat 5, F5. Cool. If you're feeling good about the rhythm of part 2 from the main riff, well, your strum hand's in luck, because what we're doing is that same idea of down, up, 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 down, down. 2 big down strums at the end over these last 2 power chords. Like this. Over the C5, we have down, up, 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 and then down, 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 up, 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 down, down. Now, you may notice that I'm kind of breaking up that first C5 power chord. You can call it muting, pulsing, whatever. What we're really doing is just breaking it up by either using one of 2 hands or both. So let's look at that again. When I do that C5, okay, if I want that to stop, I can use my fretting hand by simply lifting it off the fretboard but still touching the strings like this. Okay? So it was resonating, and then we dampen it by just lifting our fingers, and you can do that in context like this. If you want to practice that technique within this song, that's totally cool. It's a good song to do it on. The other way you can do it is by using your strum hand, and you could just have the palm of your hand just make contact with the strings. Look at it this way. Now, if you look at this from the right camera angle, you can see that sometimes you might just want to do both. You're pulsing with one hand, muting with the other, so on and so forth. So I do that over that up strum section like this. Down, up, pulse, up, pulse, up, pulse, up, pulse, up, pulse. Down, 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 up, 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 up. Down, down. Do whatever feels comfortable. Don't overthink that section. Just whatever feels comfortable to get that effect. Down, up, 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 up. E flat 5, F5, C5. Down, down. Just repeat that progression at least 4 times to pay tribute to that section, and you're in good shape. All right, let's jump right into the bridge section. There's 2 different parts. We start with the 3rd finger placed on the 5th fret of your 4th string. Now we have the pinky placed on that same fret, but of a different string. You're gonna have to skip to get to it. It's your 1st string. What What I want you to do is just play those back and forth nice and slowly, but do a down pick on the 4th string and an up pick on the 1st string. Try doing that 2 more times. 1 more time. So anytime we play that, we're gonna be playing it 3 times back and forth. So we have 1, 2, 3, before we slightly modify the shape. We're gonna keep our pinky planted, but I want you to use your middle finger so that you're no longer playing the 5th fret of the 4th string, but the 4th fret of the 4th string. And you're gonna keep going back and forth. Down, up, down, up, down, up. Then drop it 1 more fret with your 1st finger to the 3rd fret, doing that same rhythm of down, up, down, up, down, up. And you've completed the first part of this section. So all you're doing is just descending a half step at a time. 5th fret, 4th fret, 3rd fret, back and forth with those down and up strums like this. Down, up, down, up, down, up, move on. 2, 3, and then finally your 3rd fret. 2, 3. Okay, let's try that nice and slow. 1, 2, 3, 4, down, up, down, up. One more time. Move on, down, up, 2nd time, and 3rd time to the 3rd and 5th fret, 2nd time, and your final time. Okay, now we're gonna move on to that really cool section. I want you to hear it first. It sounds like this. Cool. It's pretty accessible. It sounds really cool though. You're gonna start by taking your pick and just play that open 5th string twice with a down and then followed by an up pick. So we have down, up. Then prepare for another down pick, but I want you to take your middle finger of your fret hand, place it on the 3rd fret of that string, pick it, and then without having to pick it again, use your 3rd finger of your fret hand and just hammer up a half step. You're hammering up 1 fret higher to the 4th fret, like this. Down, up, pick, and hammer, okay? In context. Okay, so that next little chord that you see there is again that A chord that we've been playing throughout the section, just like that. So you're gonna strum the 5th, 4th, and 3rd string after doing the down, up, hammer. And then to wrap things up, you're just gonna go ahead and pick that 5th string 1 more time. You can do a down pick there. So we have down, up, pick, hammer, down, down. 1 more time. Down, up, pick, hammer, strum, and then your 5th string played open 1 more time. So dynamically, these feel like very different parts, but they're beautifully just strung together for this bridge section. Let's try it together. Here it comes, nice and slow. 3 picks back and forth. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. 1 more time. And then 3 times for this shape. 2, 3, and here comes that big riff. Play that a couple times just to pay tribute to what's happening in the bridge, and you're in good shape. Let's put everything we know together, starting with that main riff. Part 1, the more intricate of the 2, we'll play that 3 times nice and slow, followed by part 2, which we'll play 4 times. We'll then move into the chords that are accompanying that solo, C5, E flat 5, and F5. Just think the power chords. We'll play that 4 times. Then we'll move into that really dynamic bridge, playing it twice, and we'll come back to that main riff, the 2nd part, wrap everything up, playing that a few times as well. I'll count us in. 1, 2, 3, 4, down, up, 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 up riff. Up, 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 up riff. 1 more time there. Now you can dig into the chords a bit more here for the 2nd part. Oh, 3, 5, let's get 3 more times. Oh, 3, 5, twice. Oh, 3, 5, 1 more time. All right, here comes that C5 power chord over here. Same rhythm, 2 down strums at the end there. Down, down, C5, up, 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 up. E flat 5 to F5. Let's do that 1 more time. Before going to the bridge, here it comes. Big riff. All right, 3 times per shape. 1, 2, 3. Big riff, and then back to the main riff, part 2. 1 more time. and on that A chord. You just learned a timeless rock song that I hope you play for years to come. Great job on that. Keep practicing, and we'll see you guys for more next time.